Hi guys, alright, long time. Gonna do a YouTube video update on Bitcoin. First of all, let's just go into a few things. So, a lot of Twitter trolls writing a lot of negative comments recently. So, if you want to condescend and hate, do it on someone else's platform. If you do it on my platform, you'll just get blocked. So, got no time for any negativity. As the wife of Roosevelt once said, stupid minds speak about people, average minds speak about events, and great minds think about ideas. Trading is not about being right. It's about seeing a setup, assessing the risk and reward, and going ahead with that trade. Simple as that. Okay, and it's about the expectancy of the trade. It's not about. It's not like a game of basketball. It's about how much you win by. So you could have 9 potential losers, but if that one winner, so to speak, makes you more money than the 9 losers over a period of time, you'll become profitable. So maybe you guys should watch my risk and trade management webinar. You might learn something. In the end, I will obviously be proved right. Bitcoin will go lower, as I said, December the 7th, 2017. So I was warning people around that time Bitcoin might reach some resistance at 20k. None of this is bullish. No one can convince me in any way whatsoever this is some kind of 1-2-1-2 stack and it's going to go higher. Absolutely no way. There's no way that's going to happen. 100% I will be proved right. But some Twitter trolls have been getting a bit excited recently, coming out of the basement. They've dropped the Vaseline and stuff, and now they're getting a bit excited because the altcoins are doing well, and that's fine. The altcoins are doing well, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin will have a big dump. It will happen over summer. When it will happen, I'm not sure. We're now getting towards. What's the date today? 11th of May. So we're now getting a little bit dragged out. But if anything, this is just confirming. This is just confirming the bullish bias. Because if this isn't bullish, it must be bearish, and this is now building a very big cause. Okay, and as per Wyckoff's second law, effect is proportional to cause. So this is now building a really, really big cause. If this was bullish, this is not the way things would be set up. There wouldn't be these massive high red volume spikes here. Obviously this one here, this one here. This is the complete wrong volume profile for something that is bullish. Now, what I want to bring you to is this big volume here that came in. This hasn't really been tested. There's a reason it found some resistance here for a variety of reasons, but it needs to go back into this sort of range anyway, to retest the volume within this candle, because that's what price tends to do. So this sort of range here, it needs to eventually go back. That's why, short term we'll get into it, but I'm just making the point, none of this is bullish. It needs to at least retest into here, and eventually it's probably going to make it into this 11.5 zone. So whilst the altcoins are bullish, you got to be very selective in the ones that you choose. But for you Twitter trolls, just there's no point being negative. You completely have no idea about trading. I've come from a stocks and indices background and trading futures, so I see no reason why this is in any way different to that. You need to understand how things move in a bull market, how things move in a bear market. This bear market is nowhere near done. We've not had that big selling climax, and we'll get onto the Dow Jones in a short while as well. The Dow Jones will go down mid to late summer, and Bitcoin appears to be leading the Dow. So if anything, Bitcoin's going to show its hand first. So if you're trading the altcoins, that's fine. Choose the really good, obvious setups. Choose the good coins and get your money and get out of there. Okay, as I said to you guys in January, don't get complacent with this market, or you'll lose all your money. And some of you guys have done really good on EOS, Digibyte, a lot of the good calls. ECA's done really well since the webinar that we did with crypto AMD. It's up, I think, 75%. But take regular profits. You're never going to go broke taking profits, okay? If you think this is a game, I lost X amount of money from 20,000 to 6,000, I want to make it back, you can't think like that, else you'll lose your money. So anyway, that's my rant over. But anyone who wants to say anything, come onto my Twitter feed, leave a comment, and I'll block you. Got no time for negativity. People who haven't accomplished crap in their lives and just having a go at other people, when really you guys have got no knowledge or education about anything. Maybe you should learn from the teachings that all of these guys do, and you try to expand your horizons and expand your mind. And maybe you guys who are hating and condescending and leaving all of these really inappropriate comments, maybe you guys should make your own YouTube channel, and then I'll be interested to see your analysis on things. Okay, that's my rant over. Did really well not to swear there, to be honest. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. As I've just mentioned, this is not the volume profile of something bullish. On the RSI, I believe on the weekly RSI, we're now hovering around sort of we're now at this sort of level here again, 51. There was some hidden bullish divergence here, which is why we had a bit of an uptick, but we got the same here. So here the RSI went from 44 to 58. Now it's interesting because this started to roll over in terms of price, I believe around what day is this? The 2nd of June. 2nd of June it started to roll over. So I don't see why we're not doing this. No one can convince me we're not just doing a fractal pattern of 2014 where we're going to go back up, then we're going to roll over again. Okay, so as I said way back in December, we're going from 20,000 to 2,000. I said there, but I think we're going to find support at around 3,000, give or take 500. And it's 2496, which I've been saying for a while. So this is just what it is. There's just nothing else to be said about this. Even on the Elliott wave oscillator, as you can see here, it was very, very green, and then here it's gone into the red territory as it starts to roll over. That's what we're doing here as well. So I'm not saying it's going to collapse on the 2nd of June. I'm just saying if this is anything to go by, it's clear in June, late June, early July, something started happening, then it started to roll over, and then it found its low around September. So especially now with the Dow going up, and given that Bitcoin's leading Dow, things will slowly start coming to a head over mid to late summer, especially when you start to include geopolitical tensions. There's absolutely no way in any world anyone can convince me Bitcoin is not going to go lower than 6,000 as a minimum. I don't see why, if the Dow's falling, we're going into a recession, potentially, why Bitcoin would suddenly be the savior of humanity and stay up. Okay, now that's not to say you can't make money. I'm not saying that you can't. Of course you can, but you got to be very selective in your coins. But all I will say is don't get complacent, because a lot of you guys got complacent in December, January, and you saw what happened. So, and it's, the definition of a fool or being foolish is doing, the definition of insanity, as Einstein said, is doing the same thing again and expecting different results. Definition of foolish is what lost my train of thought then, is just doing the same thing again but expecting different results, making the same mistake twice. The whole point about making mistakes is you learn from the first mistake. If you're just making the same mistake again and again, then you're just a fool. There's probably a lot of you trolls who are saying things and getting too excited, saying everyone's wrong and this, that and the other. The only guy you should be following on Twitter, as far as I'm concerned, is Sven Link. He's the only guy who I've seen who has consistently said 3,000 Bitcoin ever since it was around, probably not as early as I did, but around here. So he's the only guy who I can see who has consistently says that, and I rate him for that. And even he gets a lot of negative comments, but in the end, we will both be proved right. So with that being said, this is now becoming a very drawn out process. But as I said, 2nd of June is when it went down. Actually, let me just clarify what date it actually went down or started to go down. And as you can appreciate, these moves take time, and a lot of sideways consolidation cores is being built here. So Let's just have a look here. So it actually started going down around 2nd of June, and the daily RSI went to overbought. So let's see what's happening here. Right, so the RSI on the daily is coming down. Is it going to hit 50? Just underneath 50. If it finds some support here, it's going to start going sideways and then start moving up into overbought. So there's a couple of tells which you're going to have before Bitcoin roll over. One is the RSI is going to get back into 70 or higher. Clearly last time 2nd of June was very important, so just bear that in mind. The secondly, in terms of the price, it will test the price range within here, then it will hit here, and then it will slowly start making its way down. So the way I see it, the only trade I'm doing on Bitcoin anyway is obviously that there are certain select altcoins which I'm choosing, but I'm being very careful, very careful. And the minute things start rolling over, I'm getting out of them. Things like EOS and ECA and stuff. So this will start going up. RSI will start rolling over, and then when you get the move down. So this is where it's going to find some support, then go back up, and then come back down again into this sort of area. So 42 to 3,000, and then obviously 2496. So that's what I'm predicting. Nothing about this is bullish at all in any way, and that's what we're doing. So the question is the count now. I'll be going through this with the group and stuff. Secret Facebook group. So there's only so many variations you can have to this. That could be a 3, that could be a 4. It's going to go up to make a 5. This could be working some sort of expanded flat. There is strong VPVR at 8100. So if it does come back down, I can see it rolling off here, but then still maintaining its upward momentum. The other count I was contemplating was that all that is an A. It's now working some kind of ABC zigzag B. Then it's going to go up to a C. That will then constitute a 3-wave correction. So 3-wave, 3-wave, 3-wave. Obviously, it can just roll over here. This could be a really bizarre truncated X-wave that actually ended here. So it could just start rolling over here. But I think it's got a little bit more to go in terms of time, especially next week with the consensus conference and stuff. They're not going to dump it yet, but dump it they will. So that's why I'm not really going too much into it now. What I wanted to show you was the Dow. So as I mentioned on my video update whenever I did the last video update, I think it was on about a week ago, the Dow was going to break out of this triangle, and almost certainly it has done. So this is not a good thing for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's leading the Dow, and the Dow is now making its last leg before the Dow collapses by about 40-45%. This, if anything, is a negative sign, because this means Bitcoin is on a clock. Bitcoin's on a clock right now. So that's the ABCDE. So I'm very selective in my trades. I mentioned some triple leveraged ETFs which you guys could entertain, like UDAO, SPXL. If bought at the right time, they're very good. Right now you're chasing higher prices, so you'll have to assess whether it's for you. But this is not a good thing what we're seeing on the Dow here. This is not bullish. Well, it is bullish, but this is in fact the last leg. And you're not going to see 28,000 Dow for a very long time, because as I've gone over many times now, this is the last wave 5. So let me take magnet mode off. It's annoying me now. So that's, oops, is it on? So that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. This is now the 4, and this is now the 5. So the reason this is not good, because this is the last wave 5 on this level, on this intermediate level, and this is actually a wave 5 of a larger wave 5. Okay, the larger wave 5 actually started here. That's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3, that's the 4, that's the 5. So that make that a larger degree. This is, so hopefully that will, let me change that color as well. So let me just make it a super millennium, just to make it clear. So Actually, forget that. Let me make it super cycle. So the reason this is not good, because we're finishing right now, and over the course of the summer, we're going to end up getting to just a little bit off a new high, maybe by about 3-5% to approximately 27,500. There's resistance, and also 28,000, maybe 29. But this is the final blow off top in the Dow that we're going to have, and that's going to finish this wave 5 on this degree, and also a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of this is one complete market cycle. I mean, technically I can extend this to 2008 if you wanted to, but that is one complete market cycle, and that's why we're going to be in for not so nice things by September. It's not going to be good. So if you are trading the Dow, just bear in mind, there's limited upside now. I actually sold all my stocks here. It's got nowhere near there yet, and the minute it touches that high, I'm closing all of my leveraged ETF positions. So just to show you the large account, that is the 1, that is the 2. This is one massive wave 3, and this is the problem. We're going to get this big wave 4, then we're going to get this wave 5. So don't worry about this wave 5. That'll be in years to come, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. But what you need to worry about is this recession period here. So this big drop is what we're going into. So it's a massive wave 3 that we're in, of which we've had wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. We're on wave 5, and off that wave 5 we've had wave 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're working on a 5 off a 5 off a larger 3. So we're then going to come crashing down in this wave 4. Likely it'll be in some sort of zigzag pattern, to be honest. It could be a flat, but I can see it going into a nasty little zigzag. So with people like Buffett telling you guys about Apple and all new time highs and all this, that, and the other, obviously I've been around long enough now to know to do the opposite of the media 100% of the time. So if Warren Buffett's got a lot of cash, well, he even said himself on CNBC he's not investing in Apple from a value perspective, but then he said, but it's good for other people to do it, small time investors. Well, wait a minute, we want to follow the best, so if you're not doing it, why should I do it? So as I said, right now it's a trader's market, and things are going to set up for a very, very good short. You're going to have a short equivalent to like it was before the tech bust and before the 2008 crash, where things just went up and up and up. As you can see here, this extended wave 5, and it just dropped. So the difference between the previous recessionary periods that we have was that the 01, 02 was an A wave. Obviously around here we had a geopolitical event, which is interesting in terms of its timing. That was the B wave. Then we had this C wave down. So this won't be an A wave or a C wave. It'll just be a major wave 4, but it'll come down in an ABC. So, and the reason this wave 4 is going to be quite bad, because this wave 2 was quite shallow. So if there is alternation, this is a wave 4. So the working thesis that I have is that the Dow is going to come down to 20,000. Bitcoin is leading the Dow. So if anything, Bitcoin's going to dump first. So by the time the Dow dumps, it's too late because Bitcoin would have already dumped. So the minute that Bitcoin starts dumping over the summer, those of you who are holding stock positions, you still have it. It's not leading by a day or two. It's a little bit longer than that. But it's just got to be careful with your stock positions and make sure you get out, because you saw what happened in January. It went down 1,000 points, and the XIV went bust. So unfortunately, these positions, these moves happen very quickly, like within a few days, in a few hours, and everything's setting up for a very good short. Now, what the professionals have done, go in May, come back St. Leger's Day, they've gone short here. That's why you look at all that high sell volume. We're going to get a very, very poor low volume rally, but in the end, the Dow will probably go to new highs. But they've gone short here. They can absorb a loss against their position because they've got deep pockets, and then they're going to reshort and then dump it down. So none of that is healthy. Even this trade that I'm in on these leveraged ETFs, I will get out of this trade quicker than a cat the minute things start rolling over, because I'm going almost against the high sell volume. I mean, look at how many down days that we had here. It's clear the professionals have been selling out. They've gone away, and now we're going to get fueled a very, very small rally here, which unfortunately is going to trap a lot of fish, because they're going to listen to the headlines. They're going to buy the top, and next thing you know, we're going to get a very well-timed geopolitical event, or student loans or car loans. Don't know what the excuse this year is going to be. Maybe it'll be maybe they'll blame it on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to go down first. But either way, we're going to end up here. So just be very, very careful. Don't make any risky investment decisions, not just in stocks but in other stuff. So that's the overall count on the Dow. So that's just what I wanted to say on the Dow. So just want to make it clear, within wave 5 or 5 off a larger 3. And this 100%, this will happen too. So for you Twitter trolls trying to troll people out, it will definitely happen. So while people might see this as a good sign, I'm just seeing it as the last wave. And then you're not going to see 27,000 for a very, very long time, because it's going to go here, it's going to go sideways, and then it's going to get ready to move up. And then this 40,000 Dow, well, forget about that. I think we need to worry about this recession coming in first. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the Dow, and on the SPX is obviously confirming this move. SPX is clearly confirming this move as well. So it's breaking higher there, which is fine. And then it's going to move a little bit higher. So ABCDE, and it's broken the triangle there. So that's okay. And now SPXL is the leveraged ETF. So if you don't know what you're doing with this, then don't trade it. Simple as that. But as you can see, it's confirming this. But do you see how poor the volume is on the up days? So it will eventually go higher, but you are fighting really high sell volume days, because the professionals have gone short. So, but in the end, volume is one thing and price is another thing. Price can still go up on low volume, but it's showing weakness in the market, and wave 5s are purely speculation. And this is a wave 5 of a wave 5, so it's an incredibly speculative wave. But I can see the SPXL getting to this target 47, then 50, then 54, and because it's leveraged, I don't really want to be selling too much higher than this, because it's leveraged, so it might not make the same kind of movement higher than the SPX would, because it's leveraged. And then the other one that I'm in is in the UDAO, which is 3 times off the Dow. Once again, because it's leveraged, I'm not going to be selling too much higher after the new high, but from here from top to bottom, it's it's 40%, whereas the Dow's only going to move about 8% to the new high. So everything's setting up here for a big catastrophic recession that we're going to come into, so just be careful. And okay, so I'll leave it at that. We're approaching some interesting times in the Dow, in the dollar, the bond market, the LIBOR, OIS. Don't need to go into property again, and obviously cryptos. So and obviously geopolitical events as well, which is clear for everyone to see. So I'll leave it at that. So you Twitter trolls out there, follow me on Twitter, leave a comment, and I'll block you. So yeah, for those sane people out there with some intelligence, educate yourselves, because if you're about to see some drama, maybe not early summer, but mid to late summer, things are going to start happening. And just bear in mind, for you guys who aren't trading cryptos, for you guys who are stock fans, just be very careful that Bitcoin's leading the Dow, right? So just bear that in mind. Bitcoin is leading the Dow as far as I'm concerned. So when Bitcoin starts dumping, you're on a clock to sell your stock positions, because the Dow will follow soon after. Alright, I'll see you guys later.